Hello and welcome back to FrostFire FTB. I'm just going to start this episode explaining what I did since last episode because I did a lot of work in preparation for this episode. So yeah, I'm going to start with the signs over here. The first thing I should note is morph. I didn't know this, but I can actually morph into a bat and fly. I've been doing that a lot off camera so far because, well, it can fly, so no fall damage, and I can fit in 1 block high spaces, which helps a lot when mining, and makes fighting mobs easier, especially with my lag. Also, I want to note that I got some trophies, as you can see here, and some heads, so that's cool. I also made a golden lasso, which I used to capture some animals. That's made like this. Anyway, but yeah, I put 1 trophy here, though, and if I click it, it will shoot arrows up the ladder, which I thought was a little cool defensive thing to have. And also, as you saw there, I made some golden bags of holding, and I also made a different backpack just because I needed the storage for doing stuff off camera, and I had the resources, so yeah. Another thing I need to note is taint. Way up here, there's taint, and it will slowly spread its way down here, so that's not very good, but it's not an immediate threat, so it's something to keep an eye on anyway, and maybe find a way to cut it off, or at least that's what I'm considering. Other people on the server are looking into it though, because I think there is taint close to spawn, and I'm not sure if that's it or there's some other taint like out here-ish. But yeah, those are the main things. And I have to show you the mines, the farms, the machines, and lastly, the volcano. The first thing I think I should show you is the mines. After last episode, I decided just to make a turtle off camera and do some more mining, because while we did get a lot of resources, it really wasn't enough to start doing a bunch of stuff, so I made this little mine down here. Have some chests, and yeah. Just to note, you cannot walk around these mines, you have to fly around, so 1 second. Okay, now I'm a bat, so I can fly about. But yeah, I started with 1 turtle tunneling. I eventually got enough diamonds to get 2. And I eventually made 8 and just tunneled all around. Junk's not loading here. But then I started excavating, which is why it's sticking all the way down to bedrock in these areas. And had some issues with going out of the chunks, which is why some areas are like that too. But yeah, the turtles mined a ton of resources. And made these very, very big caves. And it appears I'm also in the slime chunk, which is why there's a lot of slimes over here. Another thing to note is that while the turtles were digging, they ran into a cave system, and I'm not sure exactly how this all connects, but it's the same cave system I was in before when I was mining in the previous episode. So yeah, it connected all the way to that cave system, which is pretty cool. One thing I did do that's a bit techy, I made an automated crafting system, and it will produce compressed cobblestone because the turtles mined a lot of cobblestone. So I made a chest here, a buildcraft pipe with a redstone engine, an auto crafting table, another engine, or a pipe leading to this chest, and it would automatically craft for me. I think you can see it a bit better under here. But yeah, that's kind of the system, and I had a little loop there because reasons, and that's how you make the auto crafting table. It's just wooden gears, nothing that fancy. It's not the better one of the two, or there's a better version I hear. Anyway, back to the top. Okay, so here's all the machines. It looks pretty fancy, but it's actually not. Pretty much I started down here with this steam dynamo, which is a copper gear, which and one of these redstone coils, and that allowed me to make fuel or redstone flux power. And I made a pulverizer, which is a machine frame, pretty much just iron, glass, and gold. And a redstone reception coil, which has gold in it. And pretty much I couldn't use the grindstone to grind all the ores, because even the ones I mined was a lot to grind. And then with the turtles, it just became way too much to actually grindstone it all by hand. So I set that up. Later I ended up expanding it with the aqueous accumulator, which pretty much meant I didn't have to put in water. And it would automatically fill it, and I made a little fluid duct for that. I added the cable so I also could power the induction smelter, and I'll get to what that was used for in a second. And later I ended up making a redstone furnace because the normal furnaces were a bit slow. I put hoppers in so the stuff goes in here, it outputs to this chest. And I added a little item duct when I turned the switch on. You see how it's going to turn off now. But it will go into this hopper, which inputs into that, and both of these output into that. Pretty simple. And this inputs fuel into here because I do need fuel to power as well as water. Oh, and the diamond chests are just because I have a lot of resources, and here's some resources I had going when I was preparing this stuff. In this chest, I have a bunch of other supplies, the redstone engines I had spare, which I'll just show you the recipe for that. Just a piston, gear, and they're not really that great, but you just put a lever on them and they'll help transport stuff through the buildcraft pipes, which I don't like as well as the thermal ones apparently, because I just need a lever for them. I also filled 2 drums full of lava. That's pretty much 256 buckets worth, because when the turtles were mining, I realized I was just covering up the lava, and decided I'd rather collect it, so I figured out to make a drum. But the drums needed, as you can see here, steel. So where did I get steel? Well, it turns out there's a recipe for it with the induction smelter here. You just put in iron dust and coal dust, and it will make steel. So what did I do? I made a bunch of steel. As we can see here, there's 87 ingots worth. I also made all the different patterns in the pattern chest up here. And I plan to make a bunch of different tools. Lumber axes, hammers, cleavers, and pickaxes, and all that kind of stuff now in steel, so we can get some serious mining equipment. I also made a chunk loader because I was doing a big smelting project, the same reason I end up needing to put diamond chests. So yeah, and there's a trash can here, and I moved that around. Anyway, just to run through how much we have now, this is pretty much the main thing we gained. There's a lot of stuff now. So yeah, we got a ton of these gems, which are pretty much as good as diamonds, a bunch of diamonds as well. These are the gem blocks, if you didn't notice, and all these other ores I was preparing, so now we can just delve into the tech stuff and do a bunch more. Just to go quickly through the other chests, here's some tools. I've been using the gem tools just because they're easier than having to repair a bunch of different pickaxes for tinkerers, and I also made some just lumber axes to cut down trees because we had a bit of a fuel problem, so I had to keep making charcoal, and I'm actually out again already. I also been doing a lot more farming. I've been collecting that a lot too, especially since the chunk loader's been up, and I even got some silverwood saplings. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I did get some other miscellaneous stuff, but oh, and I also ran out of room in chests, which is why I have a dirt, coal, and salt pepper chest, because we got a bunch of that in the mine. And yeah, we're up to 4 quadruple compressed cobblestone. That's how much we got. Yeah. Oh, and you're probably wondering, I moved the magic stuff down here. And I made a little backpack like this, one of the ones I wanted to show, which is just woven cloth and a dye. And I put string around that to make the woven cloth. So yeah, it's not much, but that's where I'm currently keeping the bees, because I don't like that one better, because I've realized I can make a better backpack. The golden bag of holding here, which costs a lot, a gold block, gold, wool, and a chest, but it holds as much as a double chest, so yeah, it's pretty awesome. Also, I probably should know I put some sail mufflers and a rain muffler on the base because it was raining when I was starting to record, and I had the supplies because of this. I made a sheep farm, and there's a spider in my cow farm. Anyway, I have a cow farm and a sheep farm, and now there's a sail muffler, and if I can get close enough, I can, it's just a note block with wool around it. And then 8 of these around a water bucket makes the rain one, which completely negates the rain. Although you probably can still faintly hear the animals. I also redid this farm and got rid of the little decoy house just because I wanted the top to be a farm. And somehow that got trampled, probably the darn spider. But yeah, now I have a whole bunch more crops and carrots growing. I think I got the carrot off a zombie earlier. I can't remember for sure though. As for the volcano, I actually did go up and redo the lava, but I decided I wanted to redo it again, so I removed the lava again, and I removed all the cobblestone, and now I am rebuilding the volcano, because I decided I want to redo the house as well. And you see I made a little house in here, with 2 double chests, or 2 diamond chests, full of basalt. Okay, this one's not full, but it's nearly full. There's a lot of basalt here. So we're going to use this to rebuild the volcano and make it more epic and pretty much have a base inside it. I'm not going to give up on this base. I am just going to have a second one, and this will be kind of more the factory kind of base later on. Because currently I can't build much in here like I want to because the walls are thin. So if I dig, I can't like have wires here unless I expand out the walls. And what we're actually thinking to do is build down off the cliff, like this entire cliff to the ground here is one big base kind of thing, like under the entire overhang, and remodel the cliff. I already remodeled it a bit, if you can't tell, to be a bit more pointy, and I don't know. We're still looking into it, and I'm still considering how I want to do it exactly, but that's just the general gist of it. So yeah, and here's the chunk loader recipe. I just put this so it would help when it's around the basalt and the pearl golden and enchantment table. So yeah, I did a lot off camera, but I still have a bit more to do. In this golden bag of holding here, I have a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to craft, and now it's time to craft it all. Pretty much I got the witch wood and such needed to build the crafting altar, which is actually a big structure, not just that block, so we can start Ars Magica. I also made the Oculus, which we'll need to start as well. Also, I found a portal gun in a dungeon chest when I found a mine shaft, but this is an Atlas portal gun, so we can't use it because of the server and other people. We need the bacon or the potatoes one. So we have to wait till getting an uncrafting table to remake it as the proper kind, so it won't have problems with other people in portals. But yeah, here's all the stuff I want to make, including the knapsack and some other stuff I found out cool to make, so I'll just get all that ready and we'll make it in a second. Okay, the first thing I want to make just to try is the sponge. No idea how that will work. Now this one here is one I mentioned, I think, in the last episode. There we go. It's the hand glider. Ta-da! So I'll try that out later. Another really cool thing I want to make are longfall boots. Well, it doesn't really matter as much now because we're a bat, but yeah, I wanted to make that because we were jumping off a lot and that seemed like a good idea. And we also can't really use this until we get an ender chest, I'm told, but there's an ender pouch. We need to look into that because I already got the combination all picked out and such. I also saw about a parachute. No idea what that actually does, but it looked cool. I'm not sure if it actually works without the power suit. But oh well, we'll find out. And if not, we just wasted a bit of wool. But we have those sheeps now. And the knapsack. I also wanted to build steel armor because I'm not going to do the boots, actually, even though I put the material for it. But yeah, I don't have the iron armor I did have was breaking, but I had to build new ones because I did a lot off camera. And this one's kind of not so great now, too. But actually, let's just compare real quick. Yeah, it's about the same as iron. But yeah, now we're much better equipped. And if I put this here, ta-da! We now have another inventory in the knapsack page. Awesome, isn't it? Okay, I realized where I screwed up on the recipe now. It was like this. It's a sleeping bag. I also don't know how that one really works, but it was cool. And, yeah. Okay, now let's see how this glider works. It might not work when you already can fly as a bat, so let's get out a bat and try it again. Okay, now let's see how well this glider works. I never tried a hand glider. I have no idea how to actually do it. Wow, this armor looks pretty cool with long fall boots. Anyway, was that the glider? I'm not sure if I'm using it right. Oh well, I'll play around more with that and get back to you on that later. But that's the stuff I wanted to show you before we started episode 4. Oh my god, I recorded 20 minutes. This might be a long episode, but pretty much I realized I need a better powering system before I can do anything, because the steam dynamos need a lot of fuel, and they won't power an ME system, and we can't build an ME system in here anyway, so pretty much the next thing we need to look into is going to the nether. So yeah, I think I'm going to cut and build the Tinkerer's tools here, and then actually start episode 4. So see you then.